Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now, your #1 source for tips, tricks, and everything you need to know for Fantasy Premier League football. Today, we're going to be going over some of the best forward options for your Game Week 8 wildcard. So, if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below. Let's smash 15 likes. Leave a comment who are you transferring in and out this week. Subscribe if you're brand new. We're trying to crush 200 subs by Game Week 10. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video. So, starting things off, this is the third part of this little mini-series where I go over the best defenders, midfielders, and forwards for your Game Week 8 wildcard, or just players in general to bring in if you don't have your wildcard anymore. So, today we're starting off with Jimenez. The Wolves striker, coming in at 7.5 mil. I've spoken about this dude a little bit over the course of the last 2 weeks in transfer tips videos, etc. And that's because I think he's just a really good option at the moment. He's very low owned with only 6.1% of teams actually having him, but his XG is 1.9, expected assist is 1.4. He scored a goal and he's assisted 2 so far this season. He had quite a rocky start to the season. He was having a lot of shots in the box, which is why I brought him in, because I was like, at some point he's going to score and at some point he's going to get assists. But yeah, for the first few game weeks he was just taking loads and loads of shots and it just wasn't going in. He was just firing blanks, really. It just wasn't going for him. But then of course over the last 2 game weeks, he assisted 2 last week in Game Week 7, and then in Game Week 6 he scored a goal. He really saved my last 2 game weeks, to be fair, coming in with like 8 and 10 points. Obviously Huang is another big option, but he's not nailed. Plus Jimenez is on pens. I know there's a 2 mil price difference and you could easily put that 2 mil in somewhere else in your team, but I just think Jimenez, because he's nailed, he's just not going to be moving out of that team. His minutes aren't going to be managed. He's playing 90 every single game. He's starting every single game. And with these fixtures coming up as well, Aston Villa away, Leeds away, Everton at home, Crystal Palace away, and then West Ham United at home. And I think even after that, they've got like Norwich or Burnley as well. Like the Wolves fixtures are really good up until like Game Week 15. I know a lot of people have like tripled up on Wolves as well, bringing in like Sarr and then the likes of Semedo and Marcel, Jimenez. People brought in Traore. Now people are bringing in Huang. And why wouldn't you? The fixtures are really good for Wolves. But I just think Jimenez is the star man. As I said before, he's on pens. You don't have to worry about him not playing any games, and he's starting to find his form as well. So yeah, I think Jimenez is a really good option if you have some extra funds and you don't really want to bring in Huang, because obviously he's not 100% nailed. Next up, we have Tony. Now, I actually really like this guy. I had him at the start of FPL this season, and he got really unlucky in Game Week 1 against Arsenal. I think he hit the post and he assisted a couple of chances, but I think someone didn't finish them or something like that. But yeah, he was really unlucky in Game Week 1. I think I got rid of him around Game Week 3 because he just wasn't really popping for him. And plus he had some really tough fixtures coming up. So I decided to drop him, but he's been popping off lately. He's been scoring, he's been assisting, and his stats are really good as well. He's only 6.3 mil. But his XG is 2.1. His expected assist is 2.5. So he's taking shots, he's creating chances, he's scored 2 goals, he's assisted 2 goals. He's in 15% of teams right now, but that is, I think, is going to skyrocket after the Chelsea game. So a lot of people are kind of worrying about bringing him because obviously Chelsea at home is quite a tough fixture. But the thing is, when you're playing your wild card, as I always say, you kind of playing it in advance. You're not just playing it for one fixture. That's more of a free hit. Your wild card is something that you want to be using so you don't have to worry about any transfers for a couple of weeks. And once you get past the Chelsea game, he's got Leicester at home, Burnley away, Norwich at home, which is the best fixture of the season, and then Newcastle away. He's got some really good fixtures, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be jumping on Brentford players, maybe the likes of Pinnock, and some other defenders, maybe midfield as well, as like Mwemba is a really good option at the moment. He's only like 5.5. So I think Brentford options are really good at the moment. Of course, the Chelsea game is scary. They're probably not going to win that game. Then again, they scored 3 against Liverpool, so I think anything's possible. But yeah, Tony is a really good option. I'm definitely bringing him in Game Week 9, like 100% without a doubt, because I want him for Leicester at home, which I think he's going to score because Leicester are leaking in goals. And then I've just got him already for Burnley, Norwich, and Newcastle, where I know he's going to get a price rise because I think he's going to pop and loads of people are going to bring him in. So yeah, jumping on Tony early might be a really good shout. But yeah, I can't wait to have this guy in my team. Plus he's only 6.3. I think I'm going to downgrade Antonio to him because Antonio's fixtures are getting quite bad. And I just think Tony will outscore him. And he's a lot cheaper. And then with that extra money, I can bring in Trent back, or I could just bring in like Son or someone like that, and just really make the rest of my team much better, and knowing that, because Tony's on pens as well. Like, he's a 6.3 mil player, really good fixtures coming up. He's on pens. You don't have to worry about him getting benched or anything. He set a new championship record for the most goals scored last season. Like, this guy is really, really good. So, yeah, I mean, if I was on my wild card, I would 100% be bringing him in. Even with Chelsea at home, I might, like, bench him in that game week or something. But I would really, really want this guy in my team over the next few fixtures, 100%. Coming up next, number 3, Lukaku. Now, of course, a lot of people have brought in Lukaku. His fixtures are just really, really good. He's nailed. Don't have to worry about him being benched. He's 11.7 mil. What a lot of people have done this week is just got rid of Ronaldo and brought in Lukaku on their Game Week 8 wildcard, which is exactly what I would have done if I had my Game Week 8, if I had my wildcard as well. So, he's got an expected goals of 3.1, expected assists of 1.9. He's scored 3 so far. He hasn't assisted any goals, and he's owned by 36.9% of teams. So the only issue with Lukaku at the moment is not only has he not scored in like the last 2 or 3 games, he's also a little bit of an injury doubt. So it has been flagged. I think he returned home from the Belgium international team a few days ago. He didn't play in the kind of 3rd place playoff game, whatever that, for the Nations League. But again, in my opinion, the Nations League is just glorified friendlies. I don't think it's really that good of a competition. No one really ever gets excited about it. And when you're just playing for 3rd place, I feel like Lukaku just didn't need to be there. And I think it's just match fitness as well that the problem was. Some people are saying it's like to do with his muscles or something, but I think the main thing is just match fitness. So I think he'll be absolutely fine. I hope he is, because I've got him on my team. I've also got Rudiger as well, who's also an injury doubt. But hopefully they're both okay for the Chelsea game against Brentford. But yeah, I mean, you're just going to want Lukaku for the next game weeks anyway. Like, even if he doesn't play for Brentford, like against Brentford, which hopefully he does anyway, he's got Norwich at home in game week 9, which is the best fixture of the season. And you could easily captain him in that game, and hopefully he scores like a hat-trick or something. It'd be great. But then he's got Newcastle away, Burnley at home, 2 more really good fixtures, and then Leicester away, which is another good fixture because Leicester just keep leaking in goals. So yeah, even though he hasn't scored in the last 2-3 game weeks, I mean, he got so unlucky, to be fair. He did score in game week 7, and Rudiger assisted, but it was offside by the littlest bit, which is really annoying because I'd have been so many points as my captain, and I would have got the assist on Rudiger. And then he hit the post as well, which he should have buried. Like, I don't know how he missed. It was an open goal from like 2 yards away and hit the post, which was really unfortunate. But yeah, I just think that you can't really not have Lukaku, because if you're just staying on Ronaldo, like Ronaldo's fixtures are so bad, especially when Lukaku is cheaper and has the likes of Norwich at home, Newcastle away, Burnley at home. I just think he's too good of an option to miss out on. Coming in at number 4, it's bit of a diffy, to be fair, Armstrong. A lot of people are kind of sleeping on Southampton at the moment, but their fixtures are really good. I've spoken about Livramento a lot this week in the transfer tips video, in the wildcard defender options, because Southampton have some really, really good fixtures coming up. And a player like Armstrong, who's only 6 mil, who, like I say, you could play him and then bring Antonio back in or something like that. He's got really, really good fixtures coming up. And he's got an expected goals of 1.7, expected assists of 0.6. He's only scored 1 so far this season, but at the same time, Southampton had quite a difficult run of fixtures at the start of the season, and now that's out of the way. I think this guy could pop, especially with the likes of Leeds at home, Burnley at home, Watford away, Aston Villa at home, and then Norwich away. Like, they are really, really good fixtures. He started every single game this season. He's only owned by 2.6% of teams as well, so he's a huge differential. And I feel like people are sleeping on him a bit. I think he's on pens as well. I think he's actually on pens. I remember his non-penalty XG, I think, was a little bit higher than his expected goals or something like that. But I'm pretty sure he took the penalty. I think Southampton got a penalty. They did against Chelsea. Did Armstrong take it? I can't remember for the life of me. But either way, he's even if he's not on pens, he's just a really, really good option anyway. And like I say, the fixtures are really, really good. Leeds, Burnley, Watford, Aston Villa, Norwich. Just 5 fixtures that you definitely want to be targeting. I think they're even good after that as well. But yeah, maybe a player like Armstrong isn't the worst case scenario. And like I say, with the likes of Antonio's fixtures getting worse, there's not a lot of other good strikers at the moment, because Calvert-Lewin's out, Richarlison's out, Bamford's out. There's kind of a spot for Armstrong, and I think he could be a really good option if you are thinking about bringing him in. But yeah, if you are on your wild card, might be worth a little bit of a punt, to be fair, because Leeds at home, like the next 2 fixtures at home as well, Leeds and Burnley, and then Watford away, really, really good options. Finishing things off, we have Jesus. Now, before we even talk about Jesus, I do want to just reiterate the fact that he's probably not going to be playing in Game Week 8, Burnley at home, because he did travel with Brazil in the international games, and so because of that, he's not going to be back in England in time for game week 8. Or I think Brazil's last fixture is like Friday at 4 a.m. and obviously a lot of the games are on Saturday, so he'd have to get back into England. He'd miss training, and then would he be available to play on the Saturday? Probably not. So yeah, Jesus, Rafinha, those kind of players aren't going to be back. I do also want to apologize as well. I spoke in yesterday's video about how Firmino was also a player that wasn't going to be available. He didn't travel with Brazil. I completely missed out on that when I checked the international team. I just thought he traveled, but he didn't. So Firmino is available for game week 8, which means Jota might not play game week 8, especially because Jota has a small injury as well. He didn't train with the Portugal team, I don't think. So yeah, I do apologize about that. Won't happen again. I'll do better. But anyway, let's talk about Jesus. So he's 8.6 mil, and he started every single game so far for Man City this season, which is why he's a little bit desirable, because City options that start every single game are quite hard to come by. You've only really got the likes of Cancelo, Diaz, Ederson, Grealish, and then Jesus that have really started every single game so far this season. And I think Laporte as well. And yeah, I think Laporte. But yeah, he's got an expected goals of 2, expected assists of 1.6. He's scored 2 so far. He's assisted 4 so far. He's only owned by 7.6% of teams, so a bit of a diffie as well. And as I said, City's fixtures are just really good. Of course, he's going to miss Burnley at home, but then he has Brighton away, Crystal Palace at home, United away, Everton at home. All those fixtures he could easily score in. Of course, the Manchester derby is going to be the most difficult out of the lot, but anything can happen. We saw what happened against City, Liverpool. What a game. Something like that could easily happen at United as well. But yeah, Jesus is the last one on this list, just because I think there's much better options than him. But as I said, there's not a lot of good forwards at the moment. If I had the choice, I would definitely go over with like Lukaku, Armstrong, or Tony, or Jimenez much more than Jesus. And 8.6 as well, because he will get rotated eventually. Like, he's not going to play every single game this season for City. He's just not. No City player is most likely, apart from maybe like Ederson and Diaz. But yeah, I think that he is a really good option at the moment. And if he does start getting benched or anything, you can easily just downgrade him to any of these players on the list apart from Lukaku. You could easily I don't know, you could maybe have him for like Brighton and then Crystal Palace and then downgrade to Tony ready for Norwich at home. You could do something like that, or you could just downgrade him to Jimenez if he's not playing, or you could just, as I said, bring in Armstrong. Like, any of the other options on this list you could easily downgrade into apart from Lukaku. But anyway, that's going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smash the like button down below. Let's try and hit 15 likes. Leave a comment. What other videos would you like to see me cover, by the way, because we've got a few more days until the deadline. I do want to start doing streams and stuff, but I think I'm going to wait until we've got a few more subscribers before I do that, because I don't feel like anyone's going to turn up to the streams. It'll just be me talking to myself. But yeah, we've got a differential wildcard video coming tomorrow, where we're taking a look at the biggest differentials for a wildcard if you do just want to completely go against the pack and just play teams that are just completely no one owns. But anyway, that's everything for today. Subscribe if you're brand new. We're trying to hit 200 subs by game week 10. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.